Hello, 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 everyone, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of this segment of Creators Conversation from the Barbers and Company podcast, where we showcase artists, poets, business professionals, podcasters, and much more here in Charleston, South Carolina, and beyond. My name is Chris C. Lyric Wynn, one half of the Brothers and Company podcast, and tonight we have a special guest. He is such an awesome, good friend of mine and a fellow poet of mine in the community of Charleston. Mr. D.L. Mack, he is such a great person. He is a poet, creative, and South Carolina native of two poetic collections, Black and Painted Purple. DL uses poetry as a vehicle to give a voice to the forgotten and overlooked, to encourage people around to use their voice and tools that they have given to make an impact in the world around them. I am so honored to have him on this episode tonight. It's going to be an awesome episode. I'm so honored to have him. Okay, folks, give him a warm, warm welcome. Show your amazing love to the talented poet, Mr. D.L. Mack Jr.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to be here. Um, let's get it started.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again for definitely wanting to be on this episode of Creators Conversation. I'm so happy that you're here. Like, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
And you said it started as a bluff, right?
Yeah, like I was like, okay, he got a podcast. Let me see what he gonna say. If I say, hey, let's do a podcast episode together, you were down,
Mhm.
so we're
Right.
excited.
Surprise. Thank you, man. How you doing today, by the way?
I'm doing pretty good. Just working, and then also working on some projects coming up. So I'm excited. I'm excited. 2025 is looking like it's gonna be a good year. 2024 has been an amazing year thus far. So I'm excited. Can't complain.
Absolutely, me too. 2024 has been amazing so far for the poetry community and then different events going on. I know 2025 next year is going to be amazing. So definitely
Yes.
sky's the limit. So, I truly love it. So, I'd like to ask you, like, tell us about yourself and explain to the folks out there who is DL Mack Jr.
So I am first off, a believer in Christ, father, husband, all of that. And just overall poet, not even poet by day. I wouldn't say like people say like I work by day, poet by night. I'm a poet 24/7. That's pretty much what I do. I get off work and I go to writing and posting and sharing poetry and also trying to um give a spotlight to other creatives as well as I try to make my ascension up in the poetry world and just be known in general.
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely love your drive and your dedication to your poetry, especially you, like you said, posting videos, right, every day is so inspiring. So I always see you on social media. I'm like, oh my God, he is doing it, man.
Hey,
I should call you Dr. Mac Jr., like you, a professor of poetry, because you is definitely doing it. Like,
I mean, I feel like this. When you're on the come up, getting people to, notice you, you got to be in their face every day. So even though I may not be selling a lot of books, I'm in your face every day. You know I exist. You know I'm there. And no one's gonna forget me because I'm always posting. So I mean, that's why I keep doing it, keep putting my foot on the gas, so that people know that I'm here. And Charleston is I'm gonna be taking over soon and take some people with me when I do it. So.
absolutely, absolutely. You make yourself well known, so I always see you do your thing every day. So
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. You just growing your craft every day is
Yes.
truly inspiring, man. Just keep on going. Do not do not stop.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Because I'd be getting writer's block and be like, let me take a break from writing and just go on social media and see what my fellow poets are doing. Look at their posts, look at their stories. I'm like, okay, is this you keep me on my toes, like watching
And
you do your
and I,
thing.
and I, and I honestly believe there's no such thing as writer's block because we have too much inspiration all around us. There's so many videos we watch every day. So you always have something to inspire you no matter what. So that idea of writer's block, I think, is a myth. You have to push yourself because of what I've learned about writer's block is that you may think that you have nothing to write about, but there's a line in your head that you may not want to write down. You just think it's dumb, so that's why you're not gonna write it. But I learned to write it out anyway because that could be the most amazing thing you ever wrote. And regardless of whether you think it sucks or not, somebody might get might be touched by what you wrote. So you just never know.
I kind of I agree with you as well, because everybody's poetry is so different, and like you said, like it may or may not make sense, but it may touch
Hmm.
somebody, like you said. So definitely, most definitely, I like that. So, can you tell me about who has inspired you and impacted your life in poetry?
Oh man, it's so many people that I can mention. I would say on a bigger scale, like people like Rudy Francisco and like Black Chakra. Mainly because Rudy Francisco was the first person like that made me realize that you can make a living off of this. You can be big doing this. This is somebody that I've seen on YouTube. I never met him personally, but I've seen him on YouTube, and his videos have inspired me to to write and to make a difference in people's lives. And also like the poet Black Chakra, um who basically is like a battle rapper, but he does poetry slams, and he his lyricism is so amazing, and I love lyricism in poetry. I love wordplay, so those are the things that like really stick with me. But I would say one of locally, in Charleston, people who inspire me are like people like Georgia Nubia, um, Mr. Enlightenment, and also True Seeker, the poet, amazing poet. She kind of took me under her wing a little bit. Like we'll talk, and she just pushes me to do more. Like as far as making sure I memorize at least 3 poems at all times, or she's also wanting me to do poetry slams as well. So it's like I haven't got to the point where I felt comfortable doing it yet, but she's always pushing me to do more as a poet outside of the internet. So those are people who really inspire me because like her poetry is just amazing. The way her stage presence is amazing. That's one thing I want to work on is my stage presence, being able to control the crowd, make them feel something when I get up there. And she does it every single time.
Absolutely, she is truly amazing. For my inspirations that inspired me with poetry, I would say Maya Angelou. Like it's just her words are so incredible. Like I Rise, like and Phenomenal Woman is truly amazing. Um, I'll say the community itself, like like you said, Georgia Nubia, Truth Seeker, even Zachary. Shout out to
Yeah,
Zachary Williams, Abby Duran. It's a lot of us. It's
yeah,
a
it
lot of
is.
it's a lot of us, and everybody's so different and unique. I just love them. They're like my third family.
Yeah, like I say, every time you go
Yeah.
to open mic, it's like going to a family reunion because you never know who's gonna show up.
Exactly, exactly. And it's so therapeutic too.
Yeah,
Like 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 Mr. Marcus Emerker said, like, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to be angry, angry. Just be happy. You can just be different type of emotions wherever you want to be. It is a safe space, and I just love that. We can just be ourselves. No, I just truly love it. Like you said, it's a beautiful family reunion. I just want to ask you, like, since we talk about open mic, we did some events here in Charleston, South Carolina. I do absolutely love seeing a lot of creative talents in the room expressing their love of poetry on the mic.
hmm
How does it feel for you to perform to a crowd of a lot of people?
It's always nerve wracking on the walk up, but once I'm up there, I feel at home because like the mic gives me a chance to say what I need to say, to tell the stories that I want to tell, and allow the audience to relate to what I may be talking about or going through. So I love being on stage. Of course, it's nerve wracking, but it's one of the most amazing feelings in the world, and to get that applause, and people just telling you that, hey, like what I did up there was amazing, or they felt what I did so that they could relate to my stories. And that's one of the main reasons why I write, is so that people could feel like they can relate to what I go through, or they could say, oh, I went through that too, like how'd you get through that, like just open up conversations really.
Absolutely. I truly love going to open mics. Like I remember my first time when I did open mic was a couple years ago, after dealing with a bad relationship. And then I went to, I think I remember my first open mic was at the Common House a couple years ago.
Hmm.
And I was so nervous. My lips were chattering. Like I can, my voice was
Yeah,
dry, and but after a while, I just got comfortable, and it's second nature. I truly
yeah,
love it. To get out there, expressing your love of what you write, because you never know who you may touch with your words.
yep,
So,
most definitely.
I definitely love it. I always want to come see, what's out there, who's going to show up, who's going to deliver, and, just get inspired by amazing words. Absolutely. So I want to ask you this. What are some obstacles in your life that you had to overcome, and how poetry helped you to become the man that you are?
Um, Poetry. Some of the obstacles I had to overcome is basically being in a place of feeling like I don't fit in or I don't belong or I don't have a voice. A lot of times because of my disability, people look at me as like, oh, he can't do anything for himself, or oh, he can't, or or people just don't accept me for who I am. And poetry allowed me to learn to accept myself for all my flaws and things like that, and also help other people, uh, you know, let them know that they're not alone in their struggles as well. Because it just started out with poetry when I like was through a breakup. I started writing poetry through because of a breakup. Didn't even know I wrote a poem or whatever. But then I look back and realized like, hey, I wrote my first poem like outside of school, and then I would do it to get attention from people, and then eventually it started to come around to where like I would write and share it with my friends or whatever, and they're like, "Wow, that's really good." And then I started realizing that people were touched by the things that I had to say, and that my writing was impactful, and I had a voice, and I should share that voice with others.
Definitely love that because you truly have a voice. And I was going to my next question since you were talking about disabilities, since you're truly inspiration out there.
Hmm.
I love that you do not let anything defeat you and that you continue living your life to the fullest, regardless of what people say. Um,
Hmm.
what advice can you give to those that are experiencing the same thing that you went through? So, that they want to pursue their dreams and goals, ambitions in life. What kind of advice would you give them?
I would always tell them if you want to pursue your dreams, pursue your dreams. Like there's nothing stopping you from doing it. There's nothing stopping you from pursuing your dreams. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You just have to have the drive to do it. How people like to say children are like a main stopping point for following your dreams. I had a friend tell me, um, a couple years back when my son was first born that literally nothing can stop you. You just have to plan smarter when you have kids or like when you have other obstacles in your life. Maybe money may be an issue for you following your dreams. There are so many resources out here that you can tap into in order to make your dreams possible, even if you don't have the funds to make it possible. So don't let anything stop you from following your dreams because you're gonna regret it if you do.
Because when I was younger, before I started having poetry in my life, I used to doubt myself back in the day. I used to believe those folks that say you're not gonna amount to anything, you're not gonna be anything, you're
Hmm.
nothing. But after letting those bad apples go, you know what? I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be inspiring. I'm gonna do what I want to do, regardless of what people say. Sky's the limit.
Yeah. You
Going to
gotta use
church.
you gotta use that negativity as a fuel for
Right. It is
for
fuel
doing
for
positive
inspiration.
things.
Absolutely. And
Yep.
I use that negativity every day, throughout my poetry, especially when I post. I always post positive quotes every day on my
Hmm.
social media because you never know who may be watching because they might
Yeah.
be dealing with something and they need that extra push to get them through. So
Facts. Facts.
most definitely, So go forward if those that wants to do poetry or anything in life, do it. Like don't let nothing stop you. So I just like that. I'm just a happy place in my life now, just away from doubt.
That's always good. And I could tell through your poetry and the things you choose to share now, like that you really overcame those areas that had you struggling or had you worrying about things. You could tell by the different. You could tell by the poetry selection from a poet, like where they're at in their life, because you usually don't see a poet perform poetry where they're no longer at anymore, unless they're trying to show you prove a point or show you something. So I truly see a change in you and the growth in you as a poet since I met you in the short amount of time that I have known you. So,
Oh, thank you so much, man.
oh,
it's, it's,
no problem, man, no
it's
problem.
all because guys like you and all my poetry friends, y'all keep me going every day, every day.
Cause seeing you, perform without like reading from your book was dope. I was like, okay, I wish I was there because I'd have been hyping you up real bad.
Right. I know, right? But sadly, I'm only able to memorize like three poems.
That's okay. That's a start. That's a start.
Ugh,
So,
I'm trying because I used to take acting back in when I was in college of Charleston, and
hmm
did like acting and then memorizing. You gotta memorize. You gotta repeat,
yeah,
repeat, 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 repeat. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I think like a month.
it takes you
It
about a month. It takes me about
takes a month to
it
actually get
takes
it
me
by memory.
it takes me about 2 weeks, like maybe 2 weeks to a week,
Oh my
depending
god.
on how serious. And then think about it, I be writing other stuff on top of memorizing. So it's like I'm writing and also trying to memorize. And I just what I do. One of the key things that I do to memorize is I rewrite the poem. Like while I'm trying to memorize it, I also write it down like three or four times, and then also go in and memorize it. I use like flashcards, like the index cards, and I write my poems down in parts to help me memorize this. I memorize one part of the poem and then work on the second and then run it all together. It makes it a little easier, especially when you write it out. It makes it easier to memorize.
Same thing too. Like I'll break it down in sections.
Yeah.
Bam, bam,
hmm
bam, and then repeat. Bam, bam, repeat, repeat. Yeah. So absolutely, I'm definitely taking your notes. Like definitely, I'm gonna try to memorize a poem in a week. Oh, next question. In your poetry performances, you are definitely great at adding crowd participations in your performance on the mic. Like, especially the art of freestyling on the mic.
yeah.
You're so smooth and sharp with it, man. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
seriously, you welcome. You welcome. You always ask like the audience like a topic, a word, or subject out the blue on the spot, and then you're truly amazing at that. So I wanted to ask, how long have you been, freestyling poetry on the mic?
So I've been freestyling poetry on the mic since February of 2020. Like after the release of my first book, I wanted to do like a book release party, and I had like poets come out like Brian Howard, and I had Georgia, and then I had this rapper by the name of Da Smalls come to a party I was trying to do, right, and nobody showed up, but the people I asked to perform, and like some of my family members, so like maybe like 10 people, right, and nobody showed up, and I had a whole set put together, right, and I used to freestyle, like try to rap before I started doing poetry back in 2008, but I never like freestyled a poem before. So I was like, why don't I like try to freestyle something, um, like while I'm on stage? Cause I was kind of hurt that nobody showed up. Like I bought this venue for a couple hours, got my friend who's a DJ from all the way from Texas to come out, like spend like $300 on him to come out, and nobody showed up. So like I just spoke what was on my heart and talked about how nobody was at my party and things like that. And like, but I wasn't gonna let that get me down. I still had an amazing time, but that's when it all got started. And then when I came to free verse, like recently, that's when I kind of picked back up on poetry because I stopped doing poetry like right before COVID hit and things got a little crazy. So and then I just decided to do it one day again, and I've been kind of known as a freestyle poet. Like people expect me to do it every time I come out. They're like, "Are you gonna freestyle? Are you gonna freestyle?" And it's like I want to be known a little more for freestyling, but if that's what y'all know me for and that's what y'all loving, I'm gonna keep giving it to y'all.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it because you got me wanting to freestyle. Like I tried to freestyle on the mic, like just see how you feel. Like I was thinking, going one of my movies that I love watching kung fu movies with my dad. Like this movie, Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, and he was training one of his students. They
Hmm.
spar, and he was like, "How do you feel? Let me think." And he said, "Don't think, feel, feel how feel your poetry. Don't think." I think like
Hmm.
when you think and perform while doing poetry is a big mistake. Like just hold
Yeah.
it, just say how you feel.
Because that's a lot of times, even when you're even when you're reciting your poetry, or the poetry that you memorize, you lose the feeling when you start thinking too hard, or that's
Yeah.
how you usually stumble when you start thinking too hard. So it's like freestyling, like I can honestly say, like, it's funny because remember the last event that we went to, that there was that drunk guy that came on stage. He kept asking me like, how do you freestyle? Because I'm going through so much. I'm like, bro, you don't need to know how to freestyle at this point. You just need to like just focus on life at this point. But I was
Exactly.
trying to explain to him, like, freestyling is something that not everyone can do. That it's like a gift. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can think on the spot. Because literally, I just get like a phrase or a word in my head before I start, or a topic, and I just let it flow. Whatever comes to mind, that's what comes out.
Absolutely. I do the same thing too. And is close my eyes, breathe, and just let the words do the talking.
Hmm.
Definitely love it, man. Just keep doing that freestyling because you got me wanting to do it. So it is inspiring other people to freestyle. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, so I would ask you this since we're both authors and we both got poetry books. I'm so happy and proud of you, man, of your publication. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
seriously, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, one of your books I purchased, I have it here. Uh, got a little bookmark, painted purple.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing. I was reading it last night. I'm like, oh my God, you got way with words.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
so, can you tell the people what is your poetry about? Your poetry book about painted purple, and what
So
inspired you to read it?
Painted Purple was actually a project that was sitting on the shelf since I want to say 2015. And for those who don't know, I've actually written two books, but also before then I wrote some books with an ex of mine that no longer exists because for some reason it got scrubbed from the internet, so it no longer exists. But basically, Painted Purple was supposed to be like some poetry I was gonna write to my unborn daughter that I don't have, right? And then around the time like 2020, I found like I started writing based on my experiences that I was going through. Like I met my wife around the time, like 2019, 2020. And so at the time I was dealing with going through a breakup, right? With this girl I was dating back in like early 2018. We broke up. Then I had some family issues happen around the same time. And I was also talking to a young lady, and then I met my wife shortly after. So I was in between two women back and forth. And basically, like, everybody thought I was being nonchalant at the time, but I was really going through a lot. I just didn't know how to express it, didn't know, like, um was just not being myself. And those poems came from that. Well, the concept of Painted Purple came from that. And basically it started to become an apology to my now stepdaughter. And basically I basically detail like my struggle with women and how I almost lost my wife toward the end of the book. So it's an apology to my daughter and explaining to her all the things that I've dealt with women, and why I dealt with them, because I wasn't healed and I need to be healed in order to be in a relationship in the first place. And it was just like telling my stepdaughter, like, I'm sorry for the things I did to your mother, but I'm learning my worth, and my worth is, my worth is royalty, and I should treat people as such, and I should also treat myself as such. And so basically, when I was, doing all those things, I was broken. But now that I know my worth, my heart has now been painted purple. So that the broken parts have been now painted purple on my heart. So basically, that's what it's in a long way of putting it. That's what it's about. Just understanding who you are as a man, understanding that we do hurt, we do go through things, but we have to learn our worth so that we can understand that we're important and the people that we love are important as well, and we shouldn't treat them like trash.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely like that, man. Truly inspiring, man. I didn't know what the title was, but I'm like, wow, now I got a whole understanding of what it is.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like my daughter, she sees me now. She sees me like doing like the videos every day, and I think the last performance that she went to, we had to drop her off at her grandmother's, and she was like, Daddy, where'd you go? I'm like, I went to do how I do the videos or whatever with poetry. She's like 6, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, Daddy had to go perform. She's like, I want to see you perform. I'm like, I was like, well, I don't know when I'm able to take you because you're small, but she has an interest in what I'm doing already. She's like interested, like even though she may not understand everything going on, she's interested in seeing what her dad does. So I'm just excited about that. Hopefully I may have a little poet or at least another little cheerleader in my section or
Absolutely, most definitely. She the next generation. You never know.
mm-mm.
Follow daddy's footsteps. She might be freestyling too. So yes, yes. From daddy to daughter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right. So next question. I know in the author's world, since we got books, like book reviews are kind of critical sometimes online. Um,
hmm
how do you deal with the bad and the good ones, the bad reviews, good reviews, and do you feel
So
like reviews can help you grow better as a poet?
I'm gonna be honest with you about reviews. So I don't really get a lot of reviews. I mean, I have gotten reviews, but mostly it's like from people that know me. So of course, they're gonna give you the, yeah, I loved it and this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, I don't take stock in reviews too much because even like with comments, because I get more negative comments uh, on my poetry now, and I just take it like I get like people laughing at my poetry, and I'm like, okay, and I just send a laughing emoji back and not take stock in it because unless it's actual constructive criticism, I'm not paying it any attention, because some people just don't understand you. Like I remember I did one of my poems called "The Weird Things," that people tell me when I have cerebral palsy on this TikTok live one time for like a talent show they were doing, and I read the poem and it was like I don't know if I could take you seriously because they couldn't see that I had a disability, so they thought I was trolling. I'm like, I'm like, I have a disability, but I understand if you guys don't understand. It may not be the space for that. So I just know that people who my poetry is for, it's gonna touch. Who it's not, they're just gonna discard it. If it's not for you, I'm not worried about it. But if you got something constructive to say, then yeah, I'll take I'll listen to what you have to say and take it with a grain of salt.
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, I never got really any bad reviews of my poetry. Everyone said they love my poetry. No really criticism on my end. So, but I
Yeah,
never got any reviews either. So, but
I got a couple from friends, like a lot of with Painted Purple. A lot of women who read that book said they relate to it like crazy, and it's crazy because it's written from a man's perspective. Like, everything's written from a man's, but women are like, oh, I can relate to pretty much every poem, and it's like wow, I never thought like I had women in mind, but I never thought women would be like, man, I relate to the whole thing. But in my only thing I want to say to you about not getting any bad reviews, just wait till you start growing. Wait till your platform gets bigger. Them bad reviews gonna come, and you did something right. You start getting
right.
bad reviews and people hating on you, maybe you did something right. So yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like your book should be a movie. Like since you said a lot of women is touched by your story and what your poetry is about, you definitely need to help Tyler Perry.
Maybe not Tyler Perry, but yeah, I do feel you on that one because I
Yes.
mean, um, like I said, my goal is so that people can feel like they're not alone. So like when people start telling me that, I was like, okay, I'm on the right track. I know I'm doing the right thing. So I can't even say I can't say no more about it really.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, so next question. What type of advice would you give anyone that wants to start a journey as a poet and performer? What would you give them?
The first advice I give you: don't look for your family to support you. And I know it's gonna sound really harsh, but don't look for your family and friends to support you. Um, because a lot of times when you are a creative, whether you're a poet, rapper, singer, like actor, your hometown and the people around you, they think it's cute. They be like, "Oh, it's cute that you do your little poetry, your little acting, or whatever the case may be," but they're not gonna be invested in you. I would even tell them, if you start your journey, don't let them know about it. Just post online, or just go to to a venue that will appreciate your art, and let the strangers tell you how good you are, because those are the people that are really gonna rock with you at the end of the day. Those people who really gonna buy your merch, support you at the end of the day, show up to your shows. Because I can tell you now, as an artist, that what I've experienced is the people that I like coworkers support me harder than my family does. There's no shade to them, but it's the truth. Like, other than my wife and my kids, like, I got strangers who will buy my book in a heartbeat. Just tell them I published the book, they'll go buy it. But family, they may drag their feet because they're not your target audience. The people that you grew up with are not the people that you're there to serve. It's always people that are, that you never met before, will be your biggest supporters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially going to different events, you just never know who you may see. So,
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh, wonderful. So, I hate to put you on the spot. You know what I'm about to ask you.
What you about to ask me?
since we did spoke earlier about freestyling and poetry earlier,
Okay.
is there a poem that you would like to share with the listeners and fans of yours tonight?
Okay.
Anything in your
I
heart?
who let's see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, I watched your episode with Joey, so I should have known this was coming.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And I do appreciate the shout out you gave me as well. Let's see here. Let's see.
Don't make me shout out some words now.
No, it's okay that you put me on the spot, because these words I spit are hot fire. Like I was a rapper selling mixtapes out of the trunk, but it seems like I was in a sunken place for too long, because I lost my spunk for poetry. They say it's gifting, so you can't lose it like riding a bike. I wonder if I might say a couple words that may spark a light in your heart. I want to be lit, like something like Thomas Edison would approve, because I can't help but think, if I could find the right equation, like if I was Einstein, because time is really just relative. And I wonder if Einstein was really black, because it reminds me of CP time. Because if time is relevant, if time is relative, then I wonder who could really be my relative in this place that I'm trying to find space in. I said that open mics are a place where it feels like a family reunion, and I can reunite with my family once again, with a stand behind the mic, and I'm free to spit my truth so that you can feel me. Like Braille, I make it look easy, like I was Wheezy back in the day in 2009. That sounds kind of crazy to say that I'm 30 now, but I'm giving y'all present in the present tense. And I wonder if it's evident that my rhymes are heaven sent, because I like the way my words play like kids on a Saturday. It's sad to say you're not like me or not like us, because we're gifted and we use words in ways that you'll never even imagine. Like if you were battling dragons, and I got a shield to hold your heart and mind and soul in one place. And I wonder if you ever felt out of place, because these words I spit are here to let you know that you're heard, and things that you're scared of are really real. Peace.
Ooh, woo. Ah, see, that's why that's why I like your art of freestyling. Oh my god. Woo. Oh, that touched me right there, man.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for definitely doing that, man. I had to put you on the spot. You
I
know
knew
it.
it
You
was
know the
coming.
spot.
I knew it was
You know
coming.
it. You know it. So, hey, in the world of poetry, you got to be ready.
Yep, be ready at all times.
Right. I'm like, give me a poem right now. What you got in your mind? People will do that.
Yep,
Especially if you're doing like vendoring and going to different events and they're going to ask you to do a
yep,
poem.
most
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. So you killed that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So where can fans find you at on on social media? And again, you did state about upcoming events. What you got going on this year and the next?
So I do have a another interview on the 10th on TikTok live. That's coming up soon, and I also working on a book that'll come out sometime next year called Yellow Flowers Are for the Living. Um, but you can find me everywhere at DL Mack Jr. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm mostly on TikTok, and my handle is DL Mack Jr. Poet. And you'll find me on TikTok where I post every single day. Um, so anywhere you can find me, poetry, you can Google me. My books are on Amazon as well, so just Google DL Mack Jr. and you'll find me and my books as well.
There you go, Mr. Worldwide. You all over. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I know we're about to wrap up. Is there anything else you would like to express to your fans out there or anything you would like to share? Like
So
any like
support your creatives. Because what people fail to realize is if your friends are creative and you're saying you're gonna check out their work and you don't, you end up uh, causing them to shy away from doing the gift because you're their first, point of contact as far as criticism and support. So even though you may not like what they do, support them anyway because you can truly affect how artists approach art as well as their fans. So support your artists, check on your artist friends because we may be creative, but the reason why we're so creative is because we deal with so much and we go through so much and we bleed out for you every day. We're naked in front of you guys every day we get on stage. So support your artists, support your artists, support your artists because if you don't, who else will? Uh, Yeah, that's really all I got.
amen. Amen. I love that. Yes, definitely support your artists, man. Every day that we go through, because our stories will touch everybody, regardless of what we
Hmm.
go through. So most definitely, I always end with positive quotes. If you have like a dream, goal, and ambition in life, just go for it. Just
Yes.
express how you feel. So absolutely. So as thank you so much, man, Mr. DL, man. I appreciate it. Um, all right. So I would like to thank you again for definitely being a part of this segment of Creators Content by the Brothers of a Company podcast. It was definitely a great show. I definitely
Yes,
felt
it was.
inspired by your words and encouragement and your
Thank you.
story. Absolutely. And your art. I got a freestyle. You got me wanting to after this video. I want to freestyle. I have to. I
Go
have.
for it.
Yes.
Matter of fact, are you going to Free Verse Friday?
Yes. Yes. I'll be there this Friday to support Vix. Yes.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. Oh God.
I'll be there. I'm gonna point you out. Freestyle.
You be there. Oh wow. All right. I'll see what I can come up with. Just go with the flow. Just feel.
Hmm.
Absolutely. All right. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it.
Okay, that's a
I'll be
bet.
all right. I got you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. Mr. DL, man. My name is Chris Sealerick Wynn of the Brothers Company podcast, present Creators Conversation. You can follow us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on our website at Brothers and Company Podcast.podbean.com, where you can check out our merch store, where you can check out our shirts, hoodies, and different items. And also, me and my brother always say this on our show. We are free 99, so definitely listen to us. You ain't got to take out no mortgage, no loan,
Exactly.
no lunch money to watch us and review us. So definitely it is free of charge. Okay, folks. So I definitely tuning in. Again, thank you, Mr. DL Mack Jr. for definitely blessing us on this episode. I'm
No
so happy.
problem.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you again for definitely being on the show. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have a good night. Peace and one love.